challenge number 2, which is managing cash in a small or medium-sized business. I'm your host. My name is 𝘾𝙖𝙨𝙝. Before we jump in, I'm going to ask you to please turn up your volume. The volume is not as loud as we would have wanted on these videos. And 2, if you see my eyes going around the screen, it's because I'm looking at my little notes and I want to make sure I share with you all the information that we intended. So let's jump right in. So let's talk about the small and medium-sized environment relating to cash. We know, sadly, that small, medium-sized business owner-managers don't get all the tools and they don't get the support in managing cash the same way that big companies or the richest companies, the way they manage cash. One thing you're going to hear me talk about is best practices. So we want to follow those best strategies that some of the wealthiest companies are using and copy and apply those in our local businesses, right? So let's talk about some of the problems that exist, what's going on. So in managing cash, there's 2 common methods that we see. There's 2 tools that many are using that's not really serving them well. What's those 2 tools? The bank statement and the profit and loss report. This is what's being used to manage cash. And these are not ideal things to use. Let me tell you why. First of all, the bank statement is a snapshot. It's a picture at a particular date. This is not an ideal tool to use to manage cash, either short-term or long-term, and you need to do both. Imagine when you're looking at the bank statement, a large check that you wrote hasn't even crossed the bank yet. Is that giving you a full picture? No. The profit and loss statement, as many of you good owners here know, I'm sure you've looked at your profit and loss reports and said, wait a minute, this doesn't match the cash that I know I have or that came through in this period. Well, there's good reason for that. That's because the profit and loss is a different report than cash. The profit and loss is using accounting rules to calculate what your net accounting profit is for the period. Cash is a different thing. Now, there's a relation between the two. There's a relation between cash and what's on your profit and loss report, but your profit and loss does not give you all of the cash activity. You need a different report for that, and we'll talk about that. So those are the problems, and what does that lead to? Well, if you're not able to properly track cash or see cash and look forward, then you're blindsided if a cash shortage is coming. And we know the one thing that you don't want to happen in your business is to be blindsided. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit.